There's a version of you that moves without thinking about it, stands up and feels solid, gets through a day without that low-grade ache that's just become background noise. And if you've been sitting for most of the day for years, that gap is probably wider than you realize. The movements I'm about to show you are how you close it, and they only take a few minutes to do. The first exercise is the kneeling hip flexor stretch, and if you spend most of your waking hours in a chair, this one is long overdue. There's a subtle tweak that you have to do so that the exercise is actually effective, yet it rarely gets talked about. I'll cover that in a minute. Here's what's actually happening when you sit for prolonged periods of time. Your hip flexors, the muscles that connect your spine to your legs, are held in a shortened position for so long that they start to forget how to fully lengthen. And when that happens, they don't just stay tight, they start pulling, they tilt your pelvis forward, compress your lower spine, and quietly change the way your entire body moves without you ever connecting it back to the hours you spent sitting. Think about that for a second. The stiffness you feel getting up in the morning, the tension that builds in your lower back by mid-afternoon, a lot of that traces back to a muscle that's been locked short all day and never got the chance to reset. To do it, kneel on one knee with your other foot flat on the floor in front of you, both knees at roughly a 90-degree angle. The tweak is to slightly tuck your pelvis by engaging your butt muscle on the working leg, keep your torso upright, and shift your weight gently forward until you feel a deep stretch through the front of the hip on the kneeling side. You're not forcing range. You're easing back into the range your body has been locked out of all day. Hold for 30 to 45 seconds on each side and let the tissue actually release rather than just pulling against it. The tighter this feels, the longer that muscle has been working against you without you knowing it. And once it starts to let go, something shifts. The way you stand up from a chair, the way your lower back feels driving home, the way your hips move when you walk, all of it connects back to whether this muscle is doing its job or quietly sabotaging everything around it. Now, there's a part of your spine that sitting targets differently than everything else. And once it goes stiff, it affects everything from your neck to your lower back in ways that are hard to trace back to the source. The movement that addresses it directly is called the open book stretch, and it's one of the most underrated resets you can do after a long day at a desk. When you sit, your upper back rounds forward and stays there. Hour after hour, your thoracic spine, the section of your spine that's built to rotate, gets locked into one position. And because it stops rotating, other parts of your body start compensating. Your lower back tries to pick up the slack. Your neck cranks to make up for the rotation your upper back won't give. The tension you feel at the end of the day isn't random. It's a chain reaction that started in a chair. To do it, lie on your side with your knees stacked and bent at roughly 90 degrees. Extend both arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height. From there, take your top arm and slowly rotate it up and over, opening your chest toward the ceiling and letting your upper back follow. Your eyes track the moving hand and your lower body stays as still as possible. You're not forcing the rotation. You're giving your thoracic spine permission to move through a range it hasn't touched all day. Pause at the end range for a breath or two before returning. Do 8 to 10 slow controlled reps on each side. And here's where it gets even deeper. The open book doesn't just loosen your upper back, it reestablishes the rotational connection between your upper and lower body that sitting systematically shuts down. When that connection comes back online, the whole chain starts moving the way it's supposed to. These first two exercises are addressing overlooked issues that a lot of traditional advice never touches, and that's kind of what FitZip is about, cutting through the noise and giving you the stuff that actually moves the needle. If that resonates with you, then Reset Your Body was built with that same idea in mind. Most programs ignore mobility and stability exercises entirely. They focus on strength and muscle, but they skip the movements that actually keep your body moving well as you age and prevent injury. That's exactly why I created the Reset Your Body blueprint. It's loaded with mobility work and stability patterns, the overlooked stuff that keeps your joints healthy and your body feeling decades younger than it should. It's an organized guide that tells you exactly what to do to get your body feeling the way you want it to. And it's designed to make sure you can keep doing exercises like these for the long haul without breaking down. If you're realizing your body needs more of this kind of work, scan the QR code on screen with your phone or check the link in the description below the video. Now let's get into the third movement. Sitting does something to one of the most powerful muscle groups in your body that almost nobody connects to the way they feel day to day. It shuts them off. Not weakens them gradually, shuts them off completely. And when the glutes stop doing their job, everything around them starts picking up the load they were supposed to carry. The glute bridge is how you turn them back on. It's one of those movements that FitZip keeps coming back to because it's simple, it requires nothing, and it works on something sitting breaks down every single day. To do it, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Drive through your heels and squeeze your glutes as you press your hips up toward the ceiling, forming a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. The squeeze at the top is the whole point. Hold it for a full second before lowering back down slowly. Don't just bounce up and down through the movement. The glutes need to feel the contraction, not just go along for the ride. Do 12 to 15 reps and focus on actually feeling the muscle working rather than just completing the motion. But there's something else happening that's harder to see. When your glutes aren't firing, your lower back takes over, your hamstrings compensate, your knees start tracking differently. A muscle group that was designed to be the engine of your movement gets bypassed, and everything downstream pays the price. Reactivating them with something as simple as a glute bridge starts to redistribute that load back where it belongs. And the difference in how your hips, back, and knees feel can show up faster than you'd expect. There's a layer of your core that stretching and strengthening exercises don't reach, and it's the layer that matters most for protecting your spine under load. Sitting disengages it completely, not gradually, not partially, completely, and because it operates below the surface, you don't feel it switching off the way you feel a tight hip flexor or a stiff upper back. You just start to notice that your back fatigues faster, that you feel less stable carrying things, that your body doesn't feel quite as solid as it used to. The exercise that targets this directly is called the hollow body hold, and it looks deceptively simple from the outside. To do it, lie flat on your back and press your lower back firmly into the floor. From there, extend your arms overhead and lift your legs off the ground, keeping them straight. The goal is to find the lowest position you can hold your arms and legs while keeping your lower back in contact with the floor. Everything from your shoulders to your hips should feel like it's working to maintain that position. If your lower back starts to arch away from the floor, raise your legs slightly until you can hold it. Start with 20 to 30 seconds and build from there. Here's the thing, the hollow body hold trains your body to stabilize your spine under tension, rather than just sitting passively and letting the surrounding muscles do whatever they want. That's the difference between a body you can trust to hold up under load and a body you have to protect from anything unexpected. Every rep of this is rebuilding the internal system that sitting has been slowly switching off. The forward shoulder collapse that comes from sitting at a desk doesn't just affect how you look, it changes how your entire upper body functions. Your shoulders drift forward, your chest tightens, and your upper back loses the ability to hold position under any kind of load. Over time, the position your body defaults to at rest starts to shift, and it's easy to not realize how far you've drifted until you try to get back. Wall angels make that gap impossible to ignore, and they fix it at the same time. To do it, stand with your back flat against a wall, feet a few inches out from the base. Press your lower back, upper back, and the back of your head into the wall. From there, raise your arms up into a goalpost position with your elbows bent at 90 degrees and the backs of your hands and forearms against the wall. Slowly slide your arms up the wall overhead, keeping everything in contact with the surface as you go, then bring them back down to the goalpost position. The movement should be slow and controlled. If your lower back peels away from the wall or your arms lose contact as you raise them, that's the restriction showing itself. Work within the range you can actually control rather than forcing through it. Do 10 to 12 reps and focus on keeping the whole chain connected throughout. And if you want the full program built around getting your body moving and feeling the way it should, the link is in the description.